to Talk of the Town. I'm Phil Arno.
And I'm Kim Piazza. And if you are a parent, a husband, a wife, a grandparent, a daughter, a son,
or breathing in general.
That too. Well, then you need to meet our next guest, Dr. Kevin Lehman. Hello, sir, and welcome.
Thank you so much. Good to be with you guys.
It's always good to have you here in studio.
This is home.
This is home. Western New York is home.
Yeah, it is. I live in Arizona, but every summer I come back and enjoy being here and enjoying the restaurants and the whole social milieu of Western New York.
Enjoy being part of the city of good neighbors.
Yeah.
Dr. Lehman is the go-to expert on all kinds of relationships, on birth order, on how to be a good husband.
How to be a good human being in general, right? How many books have you written, sir?
Well, book 51 is called A Perfect Ambition, which is a fiction book. And then in the fall, in October, I have a book coming out called Planet Middle School. Anybody who's got a middle schooler, boy, they talk about weird. Those guys get weird. Or you got an alien in your home almost instantly. So that'll be book 52.
So lots of wisdom to impart about family and marriage. Let's talk about marriage. You've written books about marriage.
Yeah, I've been married for 40-some years in a row.
In a row.
Yeah, women are weird.
Yeah.
Men are strange.
Yeah.
Women lie like dogs. Yes, you heard that right. In politically incorrect America, you heard Kevin Lehman say women lie like dogs. I'll just be a few minutes. They don't mean to lie, but they do. Women are so different. Phil, they speak a language that most of us as men don't understand.
I'm sitting next to Kim, you remember.
Yes.
Okay,
oh,
you
yes.
gotta remember
and
that.
This woman can talk. I mean, she can talk. I knew her as a kid, and I'm telling you, she was in the middle of everything. But women use 3.5 times the number of words that men use in a given day. Now, women love to ask questions. This is interesting.
But they don't want to hear the answer, though, do they? I mean,
careful, Phil.
is that?
Well, you have some good insight there. Because a woman will bring a problem to her husband. And really, when it gets down to it, she doesn't want an answer. She wants him to understand what she's up against. And men tend to be fixers. So when a woman says something to a man, our knee-jerk reaction is, I'm going to tell you how to fix that. Well, that's the last thing she wants to hear. The irony is that women love to ask questions. Men hate questions. There's not a man on this universe that loves questions. And we hate the why word. What do women love to do? They love to ask us why, you know. And again, when most of us as men get mad and angry, most of us don't make fools of ourselves and punch holes in walls. There's a few loonies like that. Most of us get what? Quiet. And I've written a book called Sheet Music. Sheet Music.
How to drive a woman crazy.
Well, again, if a woman is smart, she'll read my book, Sheet Music, which is a marriage book. It's actually more of a sex book than a marriage book, but that'll do. Or Have a New Husband by Friday, where I say to that woman, think of your husband as a 4-year-old that shaves. He's simple. Most men are just simple. We want to feel needed and wanted by you. But then you had to have those, what do you call them?
Kids.
Children,
right.
Yeah. Once they come along, wow, so much of mom's energy and attention gets poured into children. Husband feels like he's on the outside looking in. Average marriage lasts 7 years today and you're done. Now again, I'm just telling you, I always say God was the original humorist because he came up with this one. And the two shall become one. Hey God, that's one of the funniest things you ever came up with. Because it's difficult for a man to get behind the eyes of a woman and see how she sees life. She is a very complex creature. Men, on the other hand, are very simple.
She's from Venus, he's from the Xbox. I mean, basically, that's...
Well, I have a book called 7 Things He'll Never Tell You, But You Need to Know. And in the inside cover, it shows the woman with all kinds of dials and buttons. And then it shows the man that looks like an old-fashioned doorbell with one little button in the middle. And there's some psychological truth in that because men tend to be much more simple creatures than women are.
This reminds me of something that I know that you've said, and I think that we've lost. The idea with men and women is that equal doesn't mean the same.
Oh, you did your homework.
Sometimes I do.
See, I think, now again, if this sounds haughty or arrogant, I don't mean it to be. but I think it's one of the most profound things I ever noticed about relationships, that we have zeroed in on sameness. Are men and women of equal social value? Yes. Does Almighty God love men more than women, or vice versa? No. Loves us all the same. But we've taken that and we said, okay, therefore men and women are the same. No, men and women are very different. Show us the same stimuli and our brain lights up in different areas. We are physiologically, emotionally, completely different from one another. And viva la difference. I mean, if you were both the same as husband and wife, quite frankly, there'd be no need for one of you, the way I look at it.
What would be the point?
Yeah. So the difference is, men, how many men in Western New York, here's a question. This could be a good trivia. How many men in Western New York will admit that they have spit a fingernail on a dashboard of a car? Would you put your hand up? Where are you? You know, oh, look who's done the same thing. Oh, but you know, my wife gets her nails done. She gets her nails done. She's always getting her hair done. I do my nails at a red light with my front teeth. But I just think there's some humor in how men and women do things differently. That's all I'm saying.
And if you're really bad, you do your toenails at a red light.
Oh my God, Phil.
Women love
Okay.
affection. Well, how does a man who's a fixer show affection to his wife?
Gives her a hammer.
Well, there's always jewelry.
See, somebody asked me the other day about that, and I said, well, I'll tell you what I do. Like this past Valentine's Day, I took a bar of soap and made a big heart where Mrs. Uppington, my bride, I call her Mrs. Uppington because she's the classy one of the two of us, gets dressed in the morning. Just a big heart with a little note inside of it. I mean, I think women like those little simple things.
How did you learn this?
I don't know. I don't know. I learned it through trial and error. I had a great mom. And again, I've written in books that mommies have tremendous influence on sons. And she always expected the best of me. And I had an older sister who was very influential in my life as well. So I think as a young man, you're lucky if you have a good feminine model to model after, and because most men don't have that feminine side at all. And I think the man who has, this sounds weird, some feminine qualities makes a better husband and a better partner all the way around.
I couldn't agree more.
Well, I want to tell you, I didn't want to do this segment because I knew I would get into trouble. So, you know, when we come back, and we'll see what we can do, and I'll see if I can get myself out of the problems that I've just created.